Hello, welcome to Air Cooled Performance. My name is Wayne Calderaro. I am the Harley Doctor, and today we're going to get back on our series of videos on 4-speed transmission rebuilding. We've been away for a while. We had the Antique Motorcycle Club meet up in Wasion, which, man, that was super. Had a super duper great time up there. And then last weekend we had Cynthiana Bike Fest. Boy, what a great time. Can't say enough about those guys that put that on, man. It's the bomb. If you went, we sure do appreciate you going this time. If you didn't make it this time, hey, it'll be next year. Don't miss it. You'll be glad you went to it. This was really a cool thing. Okay, armed with that, now let's get back on to where we left off on our videos was on the ratchet lid. And just to bring you back up to speed, the issues that we had with the ratchet lid was inside these grooves where the top hat shifter finger rollers, where they reside, there was some serious grooving in here. And what that's from is from where the transmission was set up incorrectly, and for whatever reason. So this stuff is hard, man. I mean, these things are harder than Chinese arithmetic. So when you put a wear pattern in this, like exposed like it was, that's some serious pressure. And for example, if you look right here at this shifter fork, if you could see the heat coloration change in that right here in this area right there, how that got hot. These pads right here, these pads are above this surface. And if you can see, if you look on this side, same way with the pads on this side, but you can see on this side where it was so out of alignment that it actually started wearing into here, and it's never supposed to even touch there. And again, you could see how hot it got right here. This thing was fixing to fail. So anyway, so what needed to be addressed was, one of the things was these the grooves inside the shifter cam here. And I don't know if you could see, we've taken and smoothed those out. We've got rid of all those big deep grooves that the top hats had put in there. And what happens is, this right here is a shifter finger roller, or what I've always called a top hat. All right, this fits on top of your finger for your shifter fork. And then this roller is what guides the shift pattern from the shifter cam inside here. So you can see how smooth that's rolling in there now. I mean, that's butter smooth. That's how it needs to be. Before, it was hanging up and so on and so forth. And plus, as you can tell by the way this looks, instead of being in here straight, it was, of course that's exaggerated, but it was like that, you know. So anyway, we've relieved all that that serious tracking that was inside of here, and that's something there that it just makes a difference. It's not just one thing that you do, guys. It's not just one thing. It's a bunch of little things that you do that makes the job work what it should be, in my opinion. So I mean, it's little stuff like that right there. This thing is going to shift clickety click, man. It's going to be, that's what we want. And so then the next thing we were talking about was up here is the shifter ratchet and the pawls and the pawl carriers. So we looked at all this stuff, and man, this is things that I'm telling you about it, but these are something that hardly ever go south. But what you want to do is you always want to look at it. The main thing that you're going to have trouble with on one of these is these springs in here. There's 2 springs inside this thing right here. And they will break or get hung up or whatever, or the grease will get old and stuff. So I don't know if you can see, but we put all new blue Harley grease inside both these springs. We've cleaned all that area out. We've cleaned the area out where the pawl carriers are, and also all that's good to go now. But that's something that, a lot of folks don't check that, but it needs to be checked. Whenever you're doing this, don't take anything for granted, because that will come back to bite you. And, my dad used to say the best tool in your box is your double check. So, I never knew him to be wrong. I know he's listening up there. But anyway, the thing to do is always make sure that you double check these things and don't take anything for granted, okay? All right, now the next, moving on to that, is this flange right here that I'm pointing out. This is just the flange, the mounting flange for this item here, which is the shifter paw carrier dust cover. This is a dust cover. That's basically all it's doing. And what has happened here is somebody, looks like, has taken like a hammer to this thing and just beat it up and all, and it's got burrs and stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a file and we're just going to kind of knock down some of the sharp edges on this bad mamma jamma, and it will make that cover fit so much better, and it'll be right. And that's the thing, you want it right. You know, it's not, you want it right. All right, so now we've got this cover. Like I said, this is a dust cover. You know, it doesn't have to fly or keep time. There's nothing special about it. This individual here has had some damage. As you can see, it looks like the chain has got into it at some point in time, but it's not all the way through. So is that going to hurt it? It's a dust cover. So I think we'll be good. Now, if you notice on your dust cover, you notice this indentation here. There's another similar indentation on your flange right here, the one that we just filed smooth. So when you go to put this back together, that's how it goes. You put it back together to where those items line up, and just like so, to where you've got both areas lined up. And then we're going to take our screws, and these are dovetail screws, and it's what I call them, flathead screws. So anytime that you're putting in multiple amount of screws, bolts, what have you on something, always make sure that you get every one of them started, okay? Get every one of them started before you put the whomp on it. Because if you get one or two in and you tighten them really hard, then there's chances are you could throw the alignment of the other bolts off. Can you horse them in there? Yeah. Do you want to do that? No. So it's just a good idea to get, you know, everything to where it's, you know, snug down. And that's what we're doing right now. We're snugging all these bolts down. And like I said, this is a dust cover. So as you know, there's nothing special about it. But it doesn't matter if it's got a bolt pattern in it. You want to do the same thing. You want to get them all snug down before you put the whomp on any certain one. And because even something like this here, this is a dust cover, but it needs to be right. So that's just part of it. So we're just taking a few minutes here to get these bolts down. You know, they're trying to be a little contrary, and you know, so. And these are a coarse thread flathead screw. And what you'll find is, this is a good point to remember, if you're going into steel, fine thread bolts are good. They're super strong. But if you're doing aluminum, you don't want to go with fine thread screw bolt into aluminum. It'll pull. So anytime that you're doing aluminum, you always want to make sure that you're using a coarse thread fastener, because if you don't, and you put the whomp on it, you're going to pull the threads right plumb out of it. And there may be some special applications where a fine thread is needed in an aluminum part, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. All right, so we've got all the screws back in here. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take our chrome cover for our dust cover, and we're going to put that bad boy back on. And so there's that back on there. And so now what we have is we've got to locate first. We got to drop it. Sorry about that. But this is the shifter linkage that goes on here, so we want to make sure that we have this put in the correct spot. get our screws started in here. Boy, sometimes too, when you got a chrome screw, it does not want to go in there correctly. So, we're just about going to be contrary. All right, but anyway, so we've got her on there, and you know, so the main thing that you want to do when you're working on your ratchet lid is take your time, check everything out on it, and you'll be glad you did. And make sure that you check where your top hat fingers rollers go. Look for your shifter fork alignment. And when we get to that point, I'm going to show you how to use this ratchet lid to set up your shifter forks where you won't have the issues like this anymore, okay? I mean, there's a tool for doing that. We have that tool. This is the best tool there is. I'll show you that when we get to that point. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Make sure to make God part of your day. Thank you.